the GOATs, right? How you gonna sit there and tell me Steph is not in that conversation?
I said that before.
You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me.
I said that and people clown me.
In Steph's eyes, right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me.
Steph Curry just blew up the internet with one wild statement that sent fans into total chaos. When someone asked him where he ranks himself among the greatest players to ever touch a basketball, he didn't even blink. He said it with his chest. Mike first, Kobe second, and me at number 3. Yeah, he really said that. The internet went nuts instantly. Memes flying, fans roasting him, people calling him out like he lost his mind. But let's be real for a sec. What if Steph's not crazy at all? What if he's just speaking facts that nobody wants to admit?
Curry looking for that opening. Steps back. Crossover. Fires away. Oh, it's good! We're tied again!
From 1995 to 2009, the Warriors were flat out terrible. No filter needed. Their win rate sat at a depressing 37.6%, ranking as the 3rd worst in the league. Only the cursed Clippers and the struggling Vancouver Grizzlies were worse, and the Grizzlies had it so bad they had to pack up and move to Memphis just to keep breathing. During that rough 14-year nightmare, Golden State barely scraped together 5 playoff wins, and no, not series wins, just 5 games. That number was the 2nd lowest across the entire NBA. And to make things even more painful, the Grizzlies didn't win a single playoff game during that stretch, which somehow made the Warriors look slightly better. But let's be real, that's like bragging about being the tallest kid in kindergarten. If you had told anyone back in 2009 that the Warriors were about to dominate the next decade, they would have laughed straight in your face. Nobody saw it coming.
You know, and the shot he made to tie towards the end, it's a shot that, only he can make.
This forgotten franchise that people used to clown on was about to flip the whole league on its head. What came next wasn't luck. It was basketball history being written in real time. Steph Curry's path to greatness wasn't your average superstar story. He didn't run off to a stacked team or chase easy rings by joining other all-stars. Nope. He took one of the worst teams in the league and built a dynasty from scratch, turning struggle into strength and chaos into championships. That's the kind of story legends are made of. And here's what really separates Steph from the rest: his loyalty. In a world where players jump ship at the first sign of trouble, he stayed 10 toes down. While the franchise was falling apart, Steph didn't bail or complain. He stood tall and carried the weight. He didn't just say he was loyal, he lived it.
Curry handling, crossing over, driving in, clinging on his hip. Circles to the corner. Space. And fires a 3, hit another one. He's hit 3 in a row.
Did you see what happened on that?
In 2020, the Golden State Warriors completely crashed out. They went 15-50, dead last in the entire NBA. Yeah, the same squad that once looked untouchable was suddenly sitting at the bottom, taking loss after loss. Every sports show and headline started rolling out the dynasty is dead talk, saying it was the end of the Warriors era for good. But then came the comeback. Steph Curry returned the next season fully healthy, and just like that, he reminded the world exactly who he was. He dragged that team to 39 wins, carrying them like a one-man army, even though it still wasn't enough to reach the playoffs. The media went off again, screaming that Golden State needed to blow it all up and start over. Everyone was counting him out, but Steph didn't blink for a second. This is when he proved he's built from a whole different cloth. He didn't ask for a trade, didn't go crying on social media, didn't have his agent leaking stories about being unhappy. Nah, he stayed quiet, kept working, and trusted the grind. He showed up every night like it was personal, even when everyone else had already walked away. That's the kind of leadership that doesn't need a microphone. It speaks loud all by itself. Meanwhile, other superstars were out there team hopping like it was a fashion trend. LeBron James switched squads 4 times. Kevin Durant, 4 teams too. James Harden, 5 and counting. Kawhi Leonard, 2 moves, plus all that load management drama. Through all that movement and chaos, one man stayed locked in: Steph Curry. Loyal to the Bay, steady in the storm, and proving that real ones don't need to chase because the greatness comes to them. And it's crazy how people still forget that Steph is out there running the league his way. These days, superstars bail out the second things get rough, calling it business decisions. But Steph, he saw all that noise and said, "Nah, I'm built different."
Hannah, I'm told that James Harden wants a trade to the Philadelphia 76ers.
He chose loyalty over shortcuts, hard work over headlines, and it paid off in the most epic way. Then, boom, 2022 hit, and the whole basketball world got flipped upside down again. The Warriors came out of nowhere and silenced every critic that had buried them just a few years earlier. Those same voices that claimed the dynasty was dead suddenly had nothing left to say.
Apparently Durant requested a trade from the Nets today.
The storyline used to be Steph's wasting his prime without Durant. But man, they couldn't have been more wrong. He reminded everyone that his legacy doesn't depend on who's standing next to him. It's about who's trying to stop him. Steph didn't just prove the haters wrong, he destroyed every single one of those takes. He led a team that everyone had written off, carrying a battered roster through all the doubt straight to another championship. His 4th ring. And this time he snatched that long-awaited Finals MVP trophy that everyone said he'd never win. That 2022 title hit on another level. It wasn't about hype or super teams. It was about loyalty, grind, and greatness that can't be faked. That ring sent a message across the entire basketball world.
This stuff is hard. And you got to stay together if you got the guts. And you don't find the first door and run out of it.
Steph Curry never needed Kevin Durant to win. It showed that the Warriors' dynasty wasn't a lucky streak or a fluke. It was his creation. When everything collapses and you're still the one who finds a way to rise above it all, that's what makes a real legend. That's what stamps your name in basketball history forever. And here's the crazy part. When people talk about players aging gracefully, they always bring up LeBron James and Kevin Durant, right? 2 icons who've kept their game elite over the years. But somehow, Steph Curry doesn't get that same love, even though he's been putting up numbers just as nasty season after season. How's that even real? Right now, he's averaging 28.5 points a game, hitting 47% from the field and 39% from 3. That's not just good for his age, that's cold-blooded for any era. This season alone, he's already dropped over 40 points 3 different times, including that ridiculous 49-point performance that had everyone's jaw on the floor. The message? His prime ain't done, it's still rolling. And let's be honest, the man's pushing 38 and still cooking defenses like it's 2015. Coaches stay up all night trying to scheme ways to stop him. Double teams, traps, box and ones, but he keeps lighting them up like it's nothing. The craziest stat? He's not just playing well, he's making history. Steph has now recorded 44 games with 40-plus points after turning 30, tying Michael Jordan for the most in NBA history. That's right, he's standing shoulder to shoulder with MJ himself. It's almost wild to think about. A player once called too small and too fragile, now rewriting the record books with ease. Every shot he drains is another reminder that the story of basketball greatness can't be told without his name in bold letters, and that stat right there, it says everything. Guards aren't even supposed to last this long while staying this elite. Most lose their legs, their speed fades, their jumper starts clanking, but not Steph. He's flipping the whole script on how aging looks in the NBA.
You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Night after night, he's still out there lighting up defenders with that same chill smile, making it look effortless while everyone else is running out of gas. Every single year, Steph Curry breaks another rule about what point guards are supposed to do once they hit their mid-30s. Analysts always hype up LeBron James, and rightfully so, for playing at a crazy high level in his late 30s. But here's the wild part. Steph's matching that energy from a position that's way harder to sustain long-term. He's keeping the same production, same rhythm, same fire, and somehow people barely mention him in those aging like fine wine talks. How's that make sense? It's almost like people decided years ago where Steph ranks and then just hit pause, refusing to update their takes. But the numbers, they don't care about narratives. They tell the truth that fans keep ignoring. He's still putting up insane stats, still leading his team to wins, and still proving that his greatness isn't fading. It's leveling up. And what really sets Steph apart isn't just his game, it's his character. In this new age of player empowerment where superstars rush to drop podcast bombs or post cryptic Instagram stories about trades and beef, Steph stays cool and solid. He doesn't need drama to stay relevant. No shade throwing, no blaming teammates, no messy interviews, just quiet confidence and results. He lets his game talk louder than any headline ever could. That's rare in today's league, where attention seems more valuable than trophies.
Curry against Horford, gets past him inside, off the glass again. Fakes, fires, three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead.
But Steph, he's built different, focused, grounded, and still cooking like he's got something to prove every single night. He's built like a pro from another era. Clock in, dominate, clock out, repeat. No excuses, no side stories, just straight greatness every night. No talk, no showboating, just pure work. The Warriors have gone through some dark times, seasons where everything looked like it was falling apart, but through it all, Steph Curry never once threw a teammate under the bus. Not even once. Even when front office moves had him shaking his head behind the scenes, he kept that frustration tight and private. No leaks, no messy headlines, no finger pointing.
But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
And trust me, the media tried to push him into drama over and over again, but he never took the bait. That calm, collected professionalism, it's almost extinct in today's game. In this era of constant cameras and hot takes, leadership like that hits way harder. Franchise players who stay loyal, keep their mouths shut when things get tough, and still show up ready to lead. That's rare now. Most people don't even realize how powerful that steady energy is for a team. When your leader doesn't panic, everyone else follows that same calm rhythm. That's the kind of quiet control that keeps a locker room from falling apart. Sure, you can compare Steph to the all-time legends, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, to see how special he really is.
Right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know, but probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me. Right? Like, he's not going to put Bron over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument.
And I asked the
to
question.
Sit there.
But the real story comes when you line him up against the stars from his own generation. That's where the difference shines the brightest. Look around. Most of his peers took the easy route, joining super teams, jumping franchises, stacking rosters just to chase rings. Loyalty got swapped out for convenience. The phrase, "it's just business," became the perfect excuse for bailing when things got rough, and fans stopped even questioning it. But when you look closer, those choices change how you see what greatness really means. Because Steph, he didn't chase shortcuts. He built everything himself. He stuck around through the pain, stayed loyal to the grind, and turned Golden State into a powerhouse with his own hands. That's the difference between chasing a ring and creating one. Just like how Carmelo Anthony tried to hold it down in New York before everything crumbled around him, or how a young Shaq carried Orlando on his back before moving on, Steph's path shows what real loyalty and patience can build when you refuse to run from the struggle. That's not just greatness, that's legacy in motion. Shaq lost that finals run in Orlando and didn't waste a second. He packed up and went straight to Los Angeles when the chance to win big came calling. And no hate at all, because even one of the most dominant, unstoppable forces the league's ever seen couldn't pull off what Steph Curry has managed to do. Building a dynasty from nothing, keeping it alive through chaos, and walking away with your legacy stronger than ever. That's not just talent, that's heart, patience, and belief on another level. That's rare energy in today's game. Steph's 30s have been nothing short of legendary. When you isolate that stretch alone, it stands toe-to-toe with any superstar's prime in NBA history. 2 championships, a finals MVP, 7 All-NBA nods, and even a scoring title. That's the type of resume players chase their whole careers. And he did it all while the roster around him was falling apart. Injuries, trades, rebuilds, all of it. Every time people shouted, "The dynasty's over," Steph stepped right back up and proved them completely wrong. Golden State has been counted out more times than you can count, but every single time, Steph dragged them back into the light. And at this point, it's bigger than rings. It's about impact. The entire style of modern basketball has Steph Curry's fingerprints all over it. Before him, a player taking a 30-foot shot would have been yanked straight to the bench. But now, teams are throwing up 43s a night like it's nothing. That shift didn't just happen. It's because Steph made it cool, made it possible, and made it deadly. Kids across the world are now practicing from the logo. Coaches are rethinking how to space the floor, and even general managers are drafting differently because of the blueprint he created. Every youth program, every college camp, every pro system now has a piece of Steph's game baked into their playbook. He didn't just change basketball stats, he changed basketball culture. That's a level of influence only a handful of athletes in any sport ever reach. And what's even crazier, he did all that without chasing the spotlight or begging for super team help. He didn't need to stack the deck, he was the deck. He showed that belief and consistency can build something way more powerful than short-term hype. So when Steph said he ranks himself right behind Jordan and Kobe, it doesn't sound wild anymore. It actually sounds real. When you look at what he's accomplished, the legacy, the rings, the revolution, his words hit different. He didn't walk into a dynasty. He created one from scratch. That takes more than skill. It takes vision, guts, and an unshakable faith that no setback can break. And that's exactly why Steph Curry stands in a league of his own. Staying loyal while the entire league turned into a non-stop merry-go-round of players switching teams, that's rare. In an era where stars jump ship the second things get tough, Steph Curry stood firm like an anchor in a storm. His loyalty, leadership, and calm consistency through every rough stretch show a level of character that stats will never capture. And the fact that he's still out here dominating in his late 30s while inspiring the next wave of hoopers to chase greatness their own way, that's a whole new tier of legendary. At this point, it's not even a debate about if Steph belongs among the all-time greats. The real question is, why do people still act like he doesn't? His resume doesn't whisper. It shouts. 4 rings, countless records, a revolution that reshaped basketball from the ground up. What more does he have to prove? If you felt this breakdown, hit that like, drop a share, and subscribe to Ball Stories for more deep dives into the legends who changed the game forever. Peace.